I am brand new to all of you. I work out of our Boston, Massachusetts office. I head up our innovation department overseas. And what I want to do is spend the next 20 minutes or so talking with you guys about some new ways to engage with TechTarget. For those of you that have been our customers in the past, you've probably run demand generation campaigns with us. Maybe you've done some branding with us. I want to spend about 20 minutes talking about how do you take the data that we have available at TechTarget and really infuse that into your process in very simple and very actionable ways through this new device that we call Priority Engine. What we're trying to do with this is take all of the wisdom and all of the knowledge that we have at TechTarget and really make this available to you guys in incredibly consumable ways that you can take advantage of on day one of this particular product. I am going to try and do a live demo for you in just a minute, but I want to talk a little bit about why we felt compelled to work on this type of product set. And I think it comes back to sort of the eternal challenge that all of us have as marketers. Right? Really, regardless of what tactic you use or what your responsibilities are, it often comes down to who should I be targeting, what should I talk to them about, and really when. And when I think about the techniques that we've had traditionally in marketing, I see them really as being sort of at these two ends of the spectrum. Right? You could do cold calling or cold emailing to lists that you buy. And of course, the advantage there is really high volume, right? You guys probably have an existing database you've been working on for years that you can call into. You can get the list of VMware users that people try and email you all the time, right? But as you guys know, the efficiency of that leaves a lot to be desired, right? And particularly if you're using some relatively high cost devices like calling, you want that efficiency. And then sort of at the far end of that spectrum, the other thing you could do is instead of calling anyone that you can find, you could respond to people that have exhibited an interest in you. Maybe they stopped at your booth at an event. Maybe they've been to your website, right? And of course, the advantage there is way higher efficiency, right? You're going to reach those people a lot more often. But the challenge is the volume, right? Can you generate enough of those people that are expressing interest to really power the pipeline that ultimately you're responsible for? So as we took a look at this at TechTarget, we figured there's got to be something in the middle. There's got to be a way to take advantage of who we know is active, who we know wants to hear from you guys, take advantage of that volume play, and still give you the efficiency. And it's not just kind of TechTarget thinking that this is an interesting approach. You're going to see, if you haven't already, a lot of sort of industry noise about people talking about the fact that it's really difficult for you guys to sort of completely do this on your own. So I have some sort of third-party quotes up here. LinkedIn will tell you that if really what you're doing as a marketer is waiting for people to come to your website, you're probably only touching about 1% of your total addressable market, right? And even if you're doing some sophisticated outbound research, some stats from CEB, and we can absolutely attest to this, even when you're doing a lot of outbound marketing, it's so difficult for you guys to completely dominate the conversation. In fact, some of our biggest advertisers, when we work with them, it's tough for us to get anywhere between 12 and 15% mind share for their particular content because there's just so much else that's out there. So it's obviously very important for you guys to get your brand and your message in front of people, but realize that they're not just listening to you. They're listening to other vendors. They're listening to third-party sources. And so if you think about how data and how activity and how you can take these things and work them into your process, I'd suggest that, like the 80% of people on the far right here, you guys have to start listening to some external sources, right? It's very important what's happening when they're engaging with you, but I would suggest it's equally, if not more important, to understand what someone's doing when they're not with you. And I think that's where TechTarget can be an interesting partner for you guys through these various devices. So let me talk to you a little bit about what Priority Engine is. This is an opportunity for us to take our data activity, our activity, our knowledge, and our wisdom about what's going on at these accounts, and really give you guys direct access to this as a very simple workflow tool so that you have the same sort of approach to a list marketplace as we do. And I think what you're going to see, and I'm going to show you how this works in just a second, it's really going to do a couple of things for you. These sort of orange boxes you see up there. First of all, it's going to vastly increase the reach that you have as a marketer or even a sales organization. I'm going to be able to show you how with just a couple of clicks of the mouse, you can literally find hundreds of active prospects that right now care about the technology solutions that you guys have to offer. And being able to get instant access to that is something that requires no banner creative on your part, no white paper syndication. It's really just a direct feed into your workflow. And ultimately, because you're taking advantage of some of the dynamics that Bill was talking about, how using activity is a much more efficient approach to just relying on things like job titles, what you're going to find is as you use these types of tools from TechTarget and other places, your marketing acquisition rates are going to get vastly improved. And that's whether you're talking about click-through rates or acquisition rates, whether you're talking about the rate of engagement your salespeople have on the phone. All of that will get better when you're able to focus in on the activity signals and bring that right into your mix. Right? So the key to all of this is being able to take advantage of what TechTarget is known for, right? Building an audience, understanding this activity process. And while I'll show you some really interesting technology in just a minute, keep in mind that everything I'm about to show you, none of this is really possible without the commitment that TechTarget makes to the content and to the audience and to understanding these activity signals. Right? If you get that email every day of someone saying, hey, do you want to buy VMware users? Right? Really, really low quality information on that. But because of the commitment that we have in the community of IT buyers that we have, you're talking about a completely different quality set with that. Right? So whether it's the millions of members that we have, the hundreds of sites, what we're able to do with that is really translate all that data that we have and make it incredibly actionable for you guys. So as I show you this demo, I'm going to be the brave guy that tries to do a live demo in front of 120 people. I'd like you to think about kind of these three things that I'm going to show you. First of all, what the priority engine is designed to do is to take all of that churn, all of that activity that we see on our site, and boil it down into something that you will instantly be able to take advantage of. And the way we do that is we monitor these accounts literally on a daily basis. And we take a look at what a company is researching, what the individual people are researching, and it allows us to, with complete transparency, show you guys why we know that the NHS or some other organization cares about big data, for example. Right. The secret to this, and as I walk you through this, I know a lot of people in this room probably use some sort of lead scoring device where you guys are taking a look at people based on their job title or if they've been to your website, and you maybe score people on a 1 to 10 scale or hot, warm, or medium, whatever the case may be. One of the things we spend a lot of time with at TechTarget is what we call account scoring, or specifically account ranking. At any given point in time, really across almost every technology, we literally have thousands of accounts that show up at our site and are doing research. And what we're doing is we're taking a look at the behavioral signals of those accounts, and we're saying, how can I highlight for you what I think is the most interesting account? And we'll actually rank them 1 to 6,000 as the case may be. And it really gives you guys a really interesting opportunity, not just to understand who's in market, but who's the best of the best in market. In fact, that's why we call this thing the priority engine. Right? And ultimately, whether you're using Salesforce.com or Marketo, or whether you're just handing out spreadsheets to channel partners, I'll show you how easy it is to take this information and distribute it into your workflow. All right? You guys want to take a look at this thing? Let's see if we can do this. So the priority engine is a simple web browser that you guys can take advantage of. We also do have a plug and play into Salesforce.com where the same type of device that you're seeing right here can plug right into Salesforce.com for you guys that are using that. I'd tell you that we've been selling this particular product in North America for about the past 18 months. It is actually the fastest growing product we have at TechTarget in North America. As Brent mentioned, we will be rolling this out into the UK and EMEA regions in early August. So really excited, and I think you guys will get some really great utility out of this. When you think about this type of product, given that this is a little bit different way to engage with TechTarget, like I said, you don't necessarily have to supply us with inputs to this. You're really kind of piggybacking on all the work that we've already done. We generally position this type of product as a subscription type service, right? People can come in on a quarterly or annually basis, really subscribe to all of the intelligence that we have across a number of different technology segments. So we have about 100 different subscriptions that we sell. So whether you guys are in security or networking or storage, we have a huge number of these things that you guys can come in and say, hey, this is my particular marketplace. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work with our advanced analytics category here, because I'm a big data geek and this kind of fits my interest area here. What the priority engine is designed to do is to help you guys find the great opportunities and the great accounts that are available to you without having to do a whole lot of work on your end. Now, what I'm going to do, just because we are in the UK, I'm going to go ahead and ask Priority Engine and say, what I want you to do, Priority Engine, is I want you to take a look at all the activity across TechTarget. I want you to first scope that to just those accounts that care about advanced analytics. And because of the audience we're working with here today, I'm just going to look at the United Kingdom, right? I could plug in Italy, I could plug in any sort of region that I wanted to. But when I hit filter accounts, what this is going to do for me, just a couple of clicks of the mouse you see there, at the top of my list here, what this system does is it says, based off of the activity signals in the past 90 days, and in particular what's happened in the past week or two, the account that TechTarget is recommending to you as the most interesting is when it comes to advanced analytics. And as you see, as I was sort of scrolling up and down on this, we can literally give you access to hundreds of accounts in the UK that right now we know care about advanced analytics. Now, why do we know that? Is this just us kind of picking out, throwing a dart at a dartboard? When I go in and I take a look at any one of these accounts, what you can actually see is the complete transparency in terms of why we think in advanced analytics is a good fit for you guys. Right at the top, we present what we call our prospect list. These are folks that are, we know specifically because they are TechTarget members that have come in and taken an activity against advanced analytics. They have consented to us sharing their information with our partners. We go in, we validate their email address, we validate their phone number, and we're telling you very specifically that not just this account is interested in advanced analytics, but in this case, I actually have 20 prospects that we see as active right now. Now, to be clear, these are not folks that have necessarily looked at your content yet. These are folks that are looking across the board at advanced analytics. Some of it might be the editorial content we've created, some of it might be from other IT vendors, and some of it might be from social. And when we take a look in terms of how we know this is interesting, look at all the levels of granularity that we're able to share with you as part of Priority Engine. We're able to help you understand specifically that this account has been looking at content as being influenced by the message from SAS and Hewlett-Packard and Hortonworks. We can actually break this down more specifically and say, even within advanced analytics, we know that this particular account cares mostly about big data analytics and a little bit less about data discovery. We can tell you things about what companies and what products they look at, right? All of this is sourced based off of the activity signals that we see at TechTarget. And the design point on this is to make this completely transparent. There's no sort of voodoo in terms of why we think this account is hot. We can actually show it to you right here on the screen. And in fact, down at the bottom, for those of you guys that might be a little bit familiar with our dashboard product, you might see some familiar icons down here. Things like these behavioral patterns. Right. One of the things we know is that more activity is always better than less activity, but it's particular types of activity that's very interesting to us. Things like, are they looking at multiple vendors in this space? Do they appear to be creating a short list? Are they looking at late stage content versus early content? I like this one here, the sustain signal. What that tells me is that they've been active every week in the past month. So what this enables you guys to do is understand hundreds of accounts that are doing research with you guys. And you can actually come in and say things along the lines of, if you think about operationalizing this, it's very interesting to be able to come in and play with this tool, and we'll be doing demos, and our sales guys will be talking to you guys over the next couple of weeks on that. In terms of being able to get this information and make it actionable, what I did just a second ago is I came in, I specified my topic, I specified my region. When I hit this Export Prospects button, what this is going to do for me is take all of that information that we had. Remember, we had 20 people from. As I was scrolling down, there are actually 200 different accounts that the tool found for me. By hitting that Export Prospects button, it takes all of that information and throws that right into Excel for us. And what this did for me is just this particular week, if I come down to my bottom of my list here, these are all of the prospects, not just from Barclays, but from those top 200 accounts that we saw, 803 individuals who have come in, taken a look at advanced analytics within the past 90 days. They've consented for us to share their information with you guys. And if you guys wanted to then take this into your own Marketo, take this into Salesforce.com, hand this out to your sales guys, this is a very simple and very easy way for you guys to get direct access to the context that matter for you. And as you'll see as we sort of work the tool a little bit, not only can you ask it for just who's interested in advanced analytics, but you can actually use some pretty elaborate filtering on this to really cater this to your particular go-to-market strategy. You can ask the system for things like limit this by employee size, limit this by industry. You can actually get even more specific and say, I just found 806 people that were interested in advanced analytics. What we do specifically at my company is we deal with text analytics. And I'm sure not a lot of people in the room actually do that, but I love text analytics. It allows us to go in and understand all these activity signals. I can actually ask the system to get more specific, and just by clicking the categories I want and filter accounts, I have an entirely different list of accounts for me to go after now, and all of these accounts care specifically about text analytics. And just as we saw before, I can pop into, console here. Here's individual prospects that I know care about predictive analytics. and I can see a completely different activity profile for this. So a lot of what our sophisticated marketers are starting to do in North America is take advantage of tools like Priority Engine to say, I still need to do outreach, I still need to do brand, but now I can plug directly into the data signals that TechTarget has, and as I start to work these particular active prospects, I can take my conversion rates and my acquisition rates and get 4x the results like Bill was talking about earlier. Okay. Now, obviously, we only have about a couple minutes here. I don't have time to do kind of a full demo of the system, but hopefully this gives you a really quick insight and a preview of what we'll be launching in August to enable you guys to be able to come in and engage with TechTarget in a completely different way. I do want to spend just a couple seconds talking about my North American clients because we have a couple of case studies that we've built on this. Just 3 quick mini case studies for you in terms of why this stuff matters and does it really work and does this thing really play out. Here's a great sort of use case for us. We had a customer in the storage space here, and it was a marketer who didn't have a lot of money to spend. And they kept coming to TechTarget and saying, guys, I love your products. I just don't have endless budget to keep doing things with you and with other sources. I spent so much money last year, I got to get more out of what I spent last year. So what this particular account did was they licensed Priority Engine from us, and they actually looked back at all the accounts they touched last year. You can actually provide us a list of the accounts you care about. If you've got an ABM strategy or the accounts you touched last year. And what we did was we went in, we found those accounts and said, you know what? These accounts that you thought were dormant, that your salespeople have written off, we were actually able to revive 20% of those accounts and say, there's still activity going on here. There are new contacts that you should pursue on this. And so this was an opportunity for a marketer who had a limited budget to leverage this tool to make the ROI of everything else she did that much better. All right, give you another kind of use case, another KPI on this. It's great if we can track results all the way through to closed sales, but sometimes it's very difficult. So one of our clients here, their metric that they use and that they're actually gold on is how many appointments can I book? And so the marketer came to us and they said, I want to leverage Priority Engine. I want to find those active prospects. I want to slice and dice the data that makes sense for me. And what we saw is this customer with Priority Engine, after using this for about 3 or 4 months, trying to figure out the optimal way for them to touch it, we became their number 2 source of sales appointments via this particular device. Right, so if that's something that you're ultimately gold with is booking appointments, we have very specific case studies on how customers have used this to actually become a huge driver of appointments. And then my last one before I wrap up on this, another KPI that a lot of our marketers are starting to get judged on is sales ready or sales accepted leads, right? These are just not people that are in your database or that have touched your marketing, but a sales guy has said, yes, I will take ownership of this. I believe this is a real opportunity for me. So we have a cloud storage vendor who's been using this product for a little while. Within the first 8 weeks of doing this, they were actually able to book 9 sales ready opportunities. Right? And a lot of you guys in the room probably sell, solutions for, 30, 50, 100,000, sometimes even more. In 8 weeks, if you could book 9 sales accepted opportunities on that, think about how productive that's going to be for you over the course of the year. Right? This is why this product is the fastest growing product we have in North America, because people understand that being able to tie into the intelligence that TechTarget has done in very simple ways, right? Everybody in this room can click a mouse and use a web browser. That's all you have to do to get access to this type of information. All right. Now, I was only about 20 minutes today, so I'm going to wrap up my time. I'm going to get the IT panel up here next. During the breaks or during lunch, if you want to find me or our client consultants in the back, we'll be happy to field questions and talk to you more about this. We are giving you guys a preview of this. It'll be available for consumption in early August, so you'll be probably getting some phone calls from our sales guys asking you guys to set up some meetings and to learn more about the Priority Engine. Thanks, guys.